Opinion. Today I am reviewing the new play, McNeal, written by Akhtar, directed by Bartlett, Sher, running through November 24th at the Lincoln Center Theater at the Vivian Beaumont at 150 West 65th Street in New York City. Avoid AI and support human-made content by coming over to my Patreon page where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my work here as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, where the latest episode on Anti-Mame is up for patrons only. You can also find the episodes on Spotify. Also on Patreon are retro reviews and other fun items. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, as well as the new ones. A link will be in the description. In a role that seems like it was written for him, Robert Downey Jr. makes his Broadway debut in this visually stunning piece of theater written by Akhtar, who has written some of the best plays I've seen since I started reviewing theater, including The Invisible Hand and The Who and the What. Wasn't much of a fan of junk, though. Regardless, he has written another standout piece of theater as Robert Downey Jr. plays Jacob McNeal, an alcoholic author who is vying for the Nobel Prize in Literature while in a perpetual state of grief over the death of his wife. His own body is failing him from alcohol abuse, and his doctor, Sahra Grewal, played by Ruthie and Miles, implores him to stop drinking. When Jacob wins the Nobel Prize, he gives a speech decrying the current obsession over the use of artificial intelligence by creators, particularly authors. Jacob, though, deals with his own hypocrisy as he is challenged by his son Harlan, played by Rafi Gavron, who accuses him of plagiarizing his latest book by stealing a story written by his dead wife. On top of that, Jacob's infatuation with AI inspires him to use it for his next work to create a coup final of sorts. Considering the subject matter of the novel, which I won't reveal at risk of spoilers, Jacob runs into roadblocks that the programming for AI-assisted software have, prohibiting him from achieving the story he wants to tell. McNeal isn't going to be for everyone. It's pretty high concept, and audience members may end up at the end of its 1 hour, 45-minute runtime scratching their heads wondering what they just saw. I personally found it engaging, though, as we watch a man struggle with reality through the absorption of artificial intelligence, finding comfort in the frustrating and sometimes incomprehensible world of ChatGPT and similar programs. It becomes disconcerting as what is reality and what is fiction blurs, something the play self-referentially delves into, which I don't think was necessary, but I understand why it's there. Robert Downey Jr. is great in his Broadway debut. His transition from film to stage feels seamless, as his usual acting eccentricities, like picking up food to snack on mid-scene, feels like a natural behavior to him. But really, it's his connection to Jacob that makes his performance feel real. His history of substance abuse, which has been much publicized, seems to be the well he taps into to connect with Jacob. He carries a burden of grief and a subconscious self-loathing that he masks with ego and bravado. Much will be said about Michael Yeargan and Jake Barton's set design, along with Barton's projections, which becomes its own character as Jacob communicates with AI throughout, asking things like what the odds are of him winning the Nobel Prize, or asking AI to composite work from other authors and make it sound like himself. The correspondence is projected on stage with a generated voice speaking out to him. It's sometimes comical, but laced with a degree of tragedy as we see a man who is struggling with purpose attempt to maintain a voice, even if it isn't technically his own. The supporting cast is great, especially Andrea Martin as Jacob's eccentric agent Stephie. She masterfully matches Robert Downey Jr. beat for beat as they square off. McNeal isn't going to be for everyone. As Jacob delves further into the world of AI, reality and technology becomes a blur, and the audience begins to question the reality and wonder what they are seeing or hearing is true as the story progresses. That delving into Jacob's mind becomes a dream state of subconsciousness and reality. It may create confusion for some, but for me, I was rather entranced by it. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see McNeal, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be a link to my Patreon page, as well as my social media, where you can support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the new Broadway play, The Hills of California. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.